Yo, it's your boy Jay Smith Jr. here, and
well gone. My name's Liam.
I love that. Yo, this is my boy, man. If you don't know, get to know. You know what I'm saying? The man behind the camera is now in front of the camera.
Indeed.
And what we're going to do, we're going to basically just wrap up what's been going on the weekend, what's coming forward, things we're proud of, the industry, boxing, bodybuilding. We're just going to talk rubbish, really, and hopefully you enjoy it, man.
Yeah,
so
much.
First of all, I'm going to talk about myself. Because
always.
that's how I am, you know what I'm saying?
Self-centered, that's why.
You know
Selfish.
me, man. That's what's got me this far, or
Hey,
maybe it hasn't got me far enough.
To a certain degree, though, you do have to be.
You have to be in this game. You 100% have to be. You have to have self-confidence without arrogance. You have to have that middle ground. Everything is all about balance. And whenever I go for a competition, I'm always tunnel vision on I'm the most important person on this project, and I want to help as many people as possible as well. Everyone can get the best version of me when I'm really nurturing and feeding the grass.
True.
So
it's not really being selfish, then,
it's
is it?
not really, you know what I'm saying?
You've got a goal, and you're so focused and driven towards that goal, nothing's stopping you.
Exactly.
So it's actually like, it shows respect to yourself. It's showing self-respect because you're respecting your own goal, aren't you?
100,
you know
because I've worked, and you'll know this as well, I've worked with clients, I've worked with many different mothers, grandmothers, aunties, uncles, fathers, and they've given so much that they cannot, prioritize themselves. And this is when they become overweight, depressed, suffer illnesses, and it takes a massive hit, and then they project that energy onto others. So really, you have to look after yourself first, and people get the best version. The balance is everything, you know what I'm saying? Balance doesn't always mean 50-50, in some scenarios it's 60-40, but that balance where you can really
it's whatever needs the most focus in that scenario, isn't it? Sometimes you need to put more focus on yourself so then you can give back to other people. Because if you're not happy with yourself, everyone else is going to get a much less version of yourself. You want to try and give everyone 100% of Dan or 100% of Liam. If I feel like shit, I'm putting out 50% of Liam. So my friends, relationships, whatever, they're only getting half of me. Half of me.
Exactly that.
Imagine living life and you're only giving out half of who you are.
You know what I'm saying? And then half disappears from both ends. You know what I'm saying? You lose half, they lose half, and then that's just a void. So, that's why, coaches, personal trainers are really important because they have the experience to understand that. They can say, right, you're doing too much of this, you're not doing enough of this. I think it's not just about a training plan and a diet plan. They're there to guide you and oversee you. And that's why us as coaches and trainers, we can say, project things and say, okay, cool, this is the plan, this is A, B.
And that's not even just fitness, it's bodybuilding and boxing.
It's life.
So I'm sure you've come in contact with other bodybuilders that need, your look or your opinion. And it's not necessarily that we're amazing, it's that we can look at things without emotion. We can look at things and say, this is the actual reason why you're struggling, or this is external things. Because when you look at yourself, it's hard to look at it without emotion, because we live our own life.
We live it.
So having someone else to have that little bit of a tip or that word of advice, it means everything.
Because we can be our worst enemy sometimes. We can be overly critical. We can be anything, man. And we just need a third eye sometimes. But that's enough of us being Gandhi. And, Liam Goggins.
Chat shit now.
Liam Goggins. So we'll end that there. First of all, on the weekend, it was great. Bodybuilding wise.
Lost, didn't you?
I never lose. You know what I'm saying?
Never lose.
I win or learn.
That's it.
So what happened was I turned up to a competition. My mind was just in another place. I think it's a prep thing, I'm blaming it on prep. I'm going to blame it on prep.
Blame it, lad.
Blame it on prep. So I turned up. The previous week, I won Mr. Universe and won my pro card. Thank you.
Of course.
And what happened was I didn't even acknowledge it because it's not my main show. So no disrespect to the category or the federation or anything. It's not my main show. I kind of just do these shows as a warm-up, gain experience. I've got all my trophies. I could look at each one of them and there's a story behind it. You know what I'm saying? When I wrap up the season, I'm like, you know what? This was what I've got. So I kind of didn't even think about it, to be honest. I just thought about, I won and that's it.
The following it's part of your prep, isn't it?
It's part of it, yeah. The following week was another show that's the same federation, but they were like, basically, I was just about to go on stage. They were like, "Oh, you won your pro card. You can't compete. Can't compete. Yeah, so you can't win." Do you know what I'm saying? So it was one of those things. But that was on a Saturday, so we scratched that. No worries about that whatsoever. On the Sunday, then we traveled to PCA. So PCA, another tough show. Last qualified for the Worlds. Managed to qualify for the Worlds in second place. Going first was awesome, man. Like I said, I've seen him before. I've competed against him twice. I think I beat him twice as well. But he's really dialed, you know what I'm saying? So Well deserved, much respect, looked good, great condition. I had really good feedback from the crowd, judges, etc. A lot of them were saying they had me winning, etc., which is just good when you're in that conversation. But I take nothing away from the winner. He well deserved, you know what I'm saying, he's put the work in. So now I've got that invite for the Worlds. Don't know if I will go or won't go. That's this weekend. So I haven't made a decision. That's in Amsterdam.
Amsterdam.
Yeah, man. So might be
the after show. Yeah, I was thinking the after show is going to be on point. Yeah,
some pucker ched. Who knows? But we're going to see. I'm going to make a decision. Who knows? I probably will. Probably won't. I kind of take each day as it comes.
We gather that.
Yeah.
Anyone who knows Dan on a personal level, you know,
exactly.
Dan doesn't know what he's doing 2 hours in advance.
Exactly that.
You know what I mean?
You know what? What's the best way to be unpredictable? Not even know yourself.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
As people, scientists always say, shock the muscle for growth.
Exactly.
That's the secret to dance
and the brain is a muscle.
Yes, it is.
So
it is
there's
indeed.
science behind my madness. And, you know what I'm saying? It is what it is. It's all theory.
It is indeed.
So yeah, that was good. Successful because, like I said, my main one is in 3 weeks. That's the one where I've been targeting from the start of my prep. That's the one I targeted. For reasons that I will say later on, but 3 weeks to get absolutely peeled, and that is the one where you will see me at 110%. So yeah, overall, great weekend. From the academy, as you know, I run an academy where we qualify people to be personal trainers, gym instructors, nutritionists, you name it, and we've had some great news. You know, everyone's doing really well. So my team have given me feedback that everyone's flourishing. We've had Hayley passed her practical, we've had 2 learners on board, and we are starting the project that's fully funded for underprivileged kids, people from low income backgrounds, etc. We're all eligible for this course, and we fill the 12 places. That will be starting soon, and we'll keep you updated on that. So great things in the academy, good things in bodybuilding. This is the boxing guy, I'm the bodybuilding guy.
Okay,
so cool. I've kind of like, you know, wrapped up my side. Boxing wise, did you see anything over the weekend that was, you know, new or crazy?
So I think the main topic lately has been the Ben Whittaker controversy. I want to know what your opinion is.
Local lad.
Very local lad. Local lad.
Man. So he came over the ropes in his last fight, didn't he?
He did.
So the controversy behind it was the fact that, for anyone that doesn't know the background story, Ben Whittaker is a young talent that has been rising through the ranks for a very long time now.
Yeah.
He won silver at the Olympics.
People forget that as well. The people think he just he's come on the pro scene. He started hands down, you know, showboating. But my man's been Olympics, amateurs, high level amateur.
He's been about
very sort of presidented career so far, really.
Yes.
Although, you know, people give him stick for fighting these journeymen, but. Name a boxer who doesn't fight journeyman for the first 10 fights.
The padding is a normal thing.
Yep.
It's a padding is a normal thing. Where he's got a bit of controversy and critics have come in is because the level of opposition that he's showboating against. People have given him, and you know what? You can't do that without expecting criticism. So
of course.
Fair play for him for being like, I'm going to get criticised no matter what. I'm putting it on the line. But the level of opposition. New word. The level of opposition, let's say, is well below his. So it's a little easier to do that. So in his last fight, it was a step up. So he stepped up. And I would say, would you say same level?
I'd argue Liam Cameron is more of he's got a good experience in the pro scene. He's a very tough guy. Whittaker hasn't really fought anyone that tough. I'd argue someone there that's gonna kind of take his shots and push him back. You know, and we really saw it in the fight. Ben Whittaker, I mean, the whole game plan was bizarre, in my opinion. Every single fight we've seen, amateurs, etc., he's picks his shots, moves, angles. Watching the Liam Cameron fight back, I think he's stepping forward, he's staying in the pockets, sitting down on his shots, trying to almost, I think, prove a point to the whole boxing community and say, I've got power, I'm on business. Unfortunately, that's like telling Amir Khan to start sitting down on his shots and not use his footwork and speed.
Just change it.
It doesn't work.
No. I mean, we've seen that before, haven't we? Who was that? Who was it? AJ?
Yeah.
We saw it with AJ.
It's bizarre, man. Like, that's like trying to tell me to try and out-punch someone who's 55 kilo and long arms. I can't do that.
Starting again.
You've got to stick to your advantages in boxing. And, you know, sometimes your advantages might have disadvantages that come with it, but you've got to make your strength so strong your weaknesses don't even matter anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, look at Wilder. That's why he was so successful in the early career.
Yeah,
is because they focused on one strength.
Yeah.
And they made that strength outweigh all of his weaknesses.
Yes.
My man's got shit footwork, no jab, no head movement,
you know what?
nothing, and he's beat high caliber level of fighters and held his own.
Don't you think it's a persona is so powerful?
Yeah, of course,
because
man.
after he got beat, then it's like everyone's walking in and just beating him now.
Yeah. It's that fear. If you don't have that fear, so for Whittaker, it could be the fear of being mocked, the fear of being a meme.
Yes.
As soon as he starts being on the front foot, Liam Cameron's like, happy days. I'll survive this for 4, 5, 6 rounds, and then I'm going to turn the pace up.
Yeah.
That's how fighters like Liam Cameron excel at that level, especially at that level.
He played into his strength.
Of course, and Ben Whittaker was extremely tired. Now, early on in the event, the ropes were very loose. There was quite a few times where fighters were on the ropes, they were taking shots.
I mean,
mate, they were
loose.
loose.
Here, ain't we? I mean,
these are relatively loose as well.
Yeah.
The other ones,
no
I'm
way.
talking mad loose. So that's one
Probably
thing.
3 times as loose, would you say?
Yeah.
3 times.
Those ones were like exceedingly loose. I couldn't believe it.
It was crazy.
But watching it back, now we've had this conversation on a personal level. If I fell, everything hit the canvas except my man's foot. His ankle did not hit the canvas at all. He could have said his back.
Yeah.
He could have said his neck. He could have said his ear. He could have said anything.
Anything but the
My
ankle.
man blamed his ankle. The one thing that did not hit the canvas.
It was very, very suspect. I'm not going to lie to you.
It was.
What's to describe it for anyone that hasn't seen it? They come over the ropes.
They do.
And it was kind of like you said, a guided fall.
Yes, it wasn't a fast fall. It was
wasn't
very
a fast
slow.
fall. It was a guided fall because the 2 body weights on top of each other, resting against the ropes. It kind of falls over.
I'd argue that takes the sting off the fall.
Off it, doesn't it?
If you watch wrestling, you know, a lot of the falls are quite slow. They're quite sort of, almost exaggerated.
Yes.
That's how I described the fall. It was like easily kind of halfway through. There could have, one of them could have pushed off, or it could have been prevented. Essentially,
that's it.
I think.
And I struggle to see where the impact was on the ankle.
Yeah.
I struggle to see it.
Now, one of the things that people have been talking about was Liam Cameron's corner actually said they heard Whittaker's coach tell him to stay down and tell him to blame the ankle.
Wow.
So whether that's true or not, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But it's not really looking good, is it?
It's not looking good, man. And do you feel like they have to do the rematch now?
100%. If my man dodges the rematch, he's going to have that on his name.
Because it puts him, you know what? It puts him in a tough position
100%.
Negotiation-wise.
Yes.
Because it's almost like the cards are all in Liam's favour now.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Whittaker dominated the first five rounds, in my opinion. I think he won every single round without a doubt. But it was the trajectory of the fight that was going down. Yeah. Everyone who was watching the fight, they could tell Liam Cameron is quite a slow starter. He grows into the fight.
Yes.
So it was going a very, very downward path for Whittaker. Whittaker's got to have good footwork, good angles, good pivots, long-range punches to be able to, outbox these guys. Yeah. He can't be in the pocket for too long because his power is not, no matter how much S&C he does, his physique, his skeletal system, everything is not built for power. Yeah. It's sad, but it just is true. It is true. Some guys, like you see in the amateurs all the time, they're long limbs, long shots. Their power is at the very end of their shots, not in the pocket. And Whittaker was fighting a very, very downward fight, a fight that he shouldn't be fighting, in my opinion.
And it's almost like, I mean, don't get me wrong, I feel like with preparation, if he takes it serious now, he prepares for the fight, having learned from that experience, it's going to be a completely different fight.
I think he should, if the game plan was different, Whittaker would win every single time. 100%.
I think he underestimated his opponent.
But you
felt
would
like he didn't have to adapt. Or maybe
millions of people have been watching this guy tap people on the head, do fucking semicircles around the ring.
Too much on the mind.
It's very good publication-wise. He's extremely smart at marketing against lower-level opponents. Getting the following there. I mean, TikTok you see it all the time. Facebook, Instagram, the edits are all over the place. But when it gets to high level, he thought, right, I'm going to prove a point now. And he changed it to the style. Nah, man, still do your thing. That's your rhythm. There's no rhythm in that fight whatsoever. The rhythm was gone. Very flat-footed. He just couldn't get his mojo.
You got to stick to your, like we said, like AJ, there was no need for him to change it up and try and outbox Usyk. There's no need.
You're trying to outbox the fucking chess master.
Imagine Wilder trying to outbox Usyk.
It
doesn't make any sense. So that was I think a bad, like I think they're just using them examples to say we can do this. Like you said, we can box and we can, you know,
but
put on
boxing,
a surgery.
People forget it's a sport.
Yeah.
It's not about proving points. It's a sport.
It's a sport, man.
Sometimes you got to think, how am I going to win the fight?
Exactly.
I mean, I had a fight was it not the weekend previous, but the weekend previous to that.
Yeah.
Camp went amazingly, very, very on point. Skill level amazing. But the main thing we learned from his fight was how important it is to be focused.
Yes.
As soon as the crowd can creep into your ear, you lose everything.
Yeah.
I mean, a very talented boxer, very, very skilled, but the crowd screaming his name, it gets to your head.
Yeah.
It really does get to your head. And it's so important to stay focused. If you can't understand the game plan, you can't hear the game plan, you can't hear the coach, you can't hear the jab flowing, you can't hear the rhythm. These are things that you've got to be able to, hear, and you've got to be able to feel.
Yeah.
If you can't feel them things, you can't feel your legs, you can't feel your arms, the adrenaline's pumping, everything goes out.
Everything. Experience is such a massive thing because it enables you to do that.
And in bodybuilding as well.
Exactly.
When you're trying to, obviously I've never bodybuilded, I've never posed or nothing like that because I'm not a puff, right? But, right, I imagine everything's got to be so tight, everything's got to be so tense. When you're posing, that tiny breath you take out, your gut goes out. You've got to keep everything so tense.
Yes.
If you can't feel your muscles, how can you feel them contract?
And you know, the more prepared you are, the easier it becomes.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So it's almost like, same as boxing, same as any sport. If you are confident and you are exactly where you need to be, then there is nothing else. You know what I'm saying? There is nothing else you need to do. So it's, for him, in his previous fights, he was so confident that he was levels above, he was able to do certain things, showboat, move around, know that he's not going to get knocked out.
The confidence is there.
The opposition, steps up a little bit, you start to get that little bit of fear factor. Yeah. But I think with better preparation, I think it'll be a different fight.
But fear affects all of us differently.
Exactly.
I mean, me and Dan, we're both very aware of, in sport, the psychological element is so important. Yeah. I mean, I think I did a post the other day and I said how boxing is, anyone can be skilled, anyone can be talented, but very, very few can control that when they're in the thick of it. Yes. You know what I mean? Yes. When their mind has been challenged, the techniques you need, visualization, having that mental health person, performance psychologist, they've got to be on point. Yes. The mental side is so important. Massive. That grit, that determination, the discipline, the ability to control your emotions, and not let them overwhelm everything else. And that's what the advantage of having a coach is. Of course. Can reset you and have that third set of eyes. I always describe it like a parent who can always see their children, but they can't do it themselves. Yeah. And that's a massive thing. They can encourage a child to eat healthy, do the right thing, etc., blah, blah, blah. But in their own life, it's very difficult because it's again, psychological aspect. They're in control, whereas they can oversee someone else's psychology. The emotions almost detached. I remember when I first, I think it was when we a few years after we'd met, and I asked you, why do you have a coach for your bodybuilding? This is when you did have a coach, I believe. And I said, why do you have a coach when you're so experienced? And obviously, I was new in the industry. I didn't really understand these little things. You learn from a book. You learn the exercise scientifically. You learn, the anatomy, everything. But you don't learn these interpersonal sort of skills and things. Yes. And I remember you said it's because even the best in the world have to have someone above them. Exactly. Because without that accountability, it doesn't have to be someone with more knowledge. It can be someone who can see things more basic, 100. See things at the bare bones, 100. And keep you accountable. It's the same as like religion. So like a religion, it's all about someone being above. So like when people that was a crazy stretch. No, honestly, whatever religion that people go for, it's just about somebody being above them. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So like some people, it's like, have you noticed a lot of criminals, especially when they go to prison, transform into Muslims? Yeah. Because it's it's a lot of people together. They're all criminals in a cell, but yet still, the only thing that can bring them together to actually do good is a figure, I suppose. A set of rules, a set of structures, a community, and then that we can, you know what I'm saying? It's a feeling of belonging as well. So a coach does the same thing. Yeah, coach does the same thing. Coach gives you a set of structures, a set of rules, and said, that's good, that's bad. These are the things you're accountable for. If you do wrong, it's going to go there. Yeah. And no matter what, they put the faith in the coach. Yeah. And they go, right, boom, and then boom. That's how it works. That's why trust is so important as well. Massive. If you trust your coach, you will do every single thing they tell you to do.
Yeah, same as a parent.
You've got to have trust.
Yeah, same as a parent. That thin line, you can be such a massive influence to a child as a parent, but you can also be a massive deterrent as a child. The thin line, and it all comes from setting boundaries, respect. Like just understanding. It's not just something where you can say, right, do this, do this, do this.
It's transparency.
You have to
be transparent.
You have to understand. You have to have that connection with the child, where you can't just force him to do something. That connection, and that's why parenting is so difficult. I obviously don't have kids, but I've been a kid, and I've also seen parents, and I can learn from other people's mistakes.
You're a very good observer, aren't you?
Yeah, I always try to learn from other people's mistakes in certain aspects, and we all have areas where we can we can observe from an external point, and then we can't. We learn from our own mistakes. And life is just about being like, right, I can do it there, so why can't I do it there? So for me, I might be able to do it in dieting, but I can't do it in something, and vice versa for another person. So it's all a learning curve. We kind of detoured away from Ben. We'll come back to Ben. Do you think it's going to be different in a rematch if they do it?
I think. The thing is, I think this whole situation, not what happened in the ring, but externally, I think that's had it will have a huge toll on him. Because for a young man in this day and age, social media is so important.
It's massive. And it could be
a normal boxer,
enemy.
A normal boxer, a lot of them. I mean, look at Daniel Dubois, bro. My man's got 2 brain cells, and them 2 brain cells are on boxing.
Exactly.
If you've got Ben Whittaker, let's say he's got 1,000 brain cells, obviously, he's probably got more. But there's 50 on boxing and 50 on his phone and Instagram. You know what I mean? You've got to be so focused, and if 50% of his mind is on, oh shit, it's the second round and I haven't landed a good shot, what are people going to think? Nah, it's got to be, okay, listen to my coach, what's my coach telling me?
Your strength becomes a weakness.
Everything. I mean, Liam Cameron has done hundreds of interviews. I've seen it everywhere. So many interviews going in on Whittaker,
Because at first it was like...
As he should, though. As he should.
At first, he was kind of like backing off the issue. But then he was like, no, he spoke to his team and he was like, no, let's milk this.
As he should. As he should, though, because he's earned that respect. And this is his time. Have you read about the cocaine ban that he had?
No.
Mate.
Oh, I heard something
ridiculous,
Ridiculous.
Yeah,
it was only like a trace.
It was really, I'm talking tiny traces of cocaine.
And they threw the bucket at him,
And they literally threw everything at him. He could not compete for, don't quote me, I think it was 4 years or something. Bear in mind, he was at the peak of his career, And
career changing.
I remember back in the day, Fury was found out to have cocaine. My man was allowed to carry on boxing.
Slap on the wrist.
Slap on the wrist. So he's had a very short straw. So fair play, because this is his time.
It's about who
he
you
deserves
know,
it.
not what you know.
Liam Cameron deserves this now,
man, and it should be good.
As he should. But Whittaker, I think it's all about how he deals with the press, how he deals with the pressure, because technically he's levels above Liam Cameron, levels. But it's the game plan they apply and how his mental state is. I mean, he needs to have a very good team around him that he can trust, that he can listen to. And he needs to have also a psychologist, in my opinion. I think he needs to have a performance psychologist, because people underrate the importance of one.
Yeah, man. I mean, shout out to Melissa.
Melissa, yep, shout out to Melissa. Shout out to SD Sports Psychology as well. Sabrina, she helps me out with some of my fighters as well. I mean, these guys have a huge impact on athletes. Huge impact. Have you ever used a sports psychologist?
Not so much. Me and Melissa will be doing some bits on camera as well, so people can experience the advantages and disadvantages of it and take their own opinions of it.
It doesn't have to be athletic,
it doesn't have to be. No, just general life.
Yeah, but business, everything, man.
These guys are experienced. These guys are experienced. So watch out for that. Me and Melissa will be doing some bits for you guys to observe and gain your own opinion from. Just to obviously see if it's something that you might benefit from. You never know in this game. It's always good to humble yourself and say, I'm a take this on board, and it might be something that helps me. It's all about that in life. It is 100%. All about that. So 100%. It should be good. I think. I mean, are there any other fights that have been coming up?
I think.
Wasn't it? Was it Davis? Was it Davis?
Do you want a Davis?
His name? No. These is like the lower tiers. I did see a guy. So basically, he had a fight. This is just like a very low card. And his opponent was 7 pounds overweight. Really? Yeah, 7 pounds overweight.
Fucking hell.
These American guys. And then, but he said, "Oh no, I want to fight. I want to continue. I'll make sure I want to fight." So they renegotiated, obviously, contracts. I think he got a certain amount of thousands, on top of his contract. And the guy that was 7 pound under knocked the other guy out.
Really?
Second round. And I think it's again, psychology.
Yeah.
The guy he's jumped on the scales, he's going to get scrutinised, he's going to get no credit for it, and he's kind of gone out there and he hasn't got the will anymore.
Yeah.
Because if you're 7 pounds overweight, people scrutinise him again.
Yeah.
He's not going to get any.
It shows lack of respect, lack of discipline.
And they're like, oh, yeah.
Not just respect for the opponent, but respect for the promotion.
Exactly.
Respect for the
you're going to a losing situation. Because if you win, you're going to be like, oh, 7 pound overweight.
Yeah.
I think that's psychologically playing a factor. And he got knocked out. So, but these are some lower tier guys.
You've got to be very sort of, especially in such a one-on-one combat sport like boxing. You've got to have so much mental strength.
100.
I'm talking so much.
100.
I mean, that's one of the reasons why I stopped boxing, was because I thought I couldn't give 100% into it anymore.
Yeah.
And you've got to really understand the risk in boxing. You've got to give 100%.
We were just speaking about this earlier, weren't we? Yeah. We've normalised boxing. It's actually really crazy.
Yeah, of course.
If I fell and just knocked my head on something right now, I would be like, maybe I need to go to hospital just in case, concussion or something like that. Like bleeds on the brain or whatever. But we go in the ring, we get hunched extremely hard on a repetitive basis, like it's nothing. People scrap every day. All it takes is just one hit the curb, whatever. We've normalised violence just through sport, but it is a serious thing. So it is mad when you think about the science of it all. But
You've got to be very
crazy.
Strong.
We are crazy. We push things to the extreme.
Well, what do we say? We said it's as humans, like we're always from birth. There's so many other humans in the world. So many. What makes you so important? So as humans, we always want to do something that's a little bit different, a little bit more extreme. I mean, bare knuckle. How the past few years, how much more popular has bare knuckle got?
Crazy.
I mean,
there's one in was it?
Last night there was one. I think bare knuckle fight. My brother went to there. I mean,
that's brutal, man.
Bare knuckle is just different level,
That's brutal, man.
Different. I mean, your hands are going to have so much, not even your brain, bro. Your hands are going to be mashed up.
Like,
I couldn't do it, man.
No, I couldn't do it. I could not do it. Like, I full credit to them. And like I said, like, people underestimate, someone who's been punching something for their whole life. It's a very hard and precise hit. These can be life-changing punches.
Of course.
It's early stages now. Obviously, it's been going on for a while, but early stages of the commercial world, I think you're going to see some serious, brain damage.
Yeah. You got to remember,
protected, isn't it?
Boxing is. The thing is, that's the thing that's always separated bare knuckle from boxing is obviously the gloves, but the regulations. So boxing's got so many sort of federations, so many sanctions that help regulate these things. Bare knuckle, but it could be down to funding. Bare knuckles probably never had the huge funding. It's always been sort of backdoor sort of things, events. So they haven't had the money to be able to, make sure fighters are getting drug tested, make sure fighters are getting brain scans.
Exactly.
So in the next 30 years, because these things take time to manifest as well.
They take time,
That's what's so scary. It's the same with gear. I mean, you see it with gear all the time, especially young lads coming into the gym. Not Atlas, but especially commercial gyms is the worst. Teenagers, they'll be training for 6 months and on gear, on gear.
It's the internet.
It's bizarre.
It's the internet.
It's bizarre.
To be fair, the internet has influenced people to always take shortcuts, whether it be hard work, whether it be discipline, whether it be nutrition. Everyone's looking for a shortcut. So Google, see what we can do. Whereas before the internet, which is obviously before my time as well, you would have to go and seek somebody as a mentor, and they will guide you in the correct way, and you will follow that like a T.
The information isn't easily accessible. You have to go to an individual that knows.
And what he's going to do is centralise the information.
And you've got judgment involved. You've got interpersonal connection. So sometimes you might be so nervous to ask someone, you just give up. Now you can Google search it, go on some forums, go on Reddit, go on whatever you want to do. And the information's there. It's like, okay, cool. I can order it to my house. Order it to my house.
And you know what? It actually, what it does is just there's misinformation around, but somebody just does something sporadically, and they don't really know what they're getting into and stuff.
But the worst part is they don't have a lot of them won't have a coach. They won't have someone. I mean, people forget this is it's almost a job. Really, being able to say this amount, it takes a very, very smart and intelligent person. These kids, they're ordering it themselves, dosing themselves, injecting it, or doing whatever it is to themselves. It's something.
Because it's a drug. It's a drug, and basically, if you look at the youth overall, not even just the youth, just humans in general, when it comes to drugs, there's no responsibility factor. You know what I'm saying? It's all about.
Dan, this weekend, Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson. What do you think, mate? What do you think?
To be honest, I can't see anything but an exhibition.
Really?
I know it's a pro fight, but I just think it's going to be an exhibition.
That's the only way it can go, in my opinion.
I just think because Jake Paul can't gain anything from knocking him out.
Bro, no,
he can't gain anything, can he?
Nothing.
He's going to lose fans.
The credibility.
He's going to lose respect, credibility. He can't gain anything. It's not like someone that people want to see knocked out. So I just think he's going to stick and move. And I don't think Tyson's like fast enough to do anything. He's just going to. You're just going to see jabs, few hooks to the body. Like I just can't see it.
Personally, I agree as well. I think.
Well, I think though, Mike Tyson will drop him.
You think?
Yeah. Just catch him, not like a knockout punch. I'm talking
catch him, like clip him.
He'll do his usual,
weave,
and then he'll catch him. He'll kind of slip or something,
Help
or just be caught off guard, off balance, and he'll get back up.
The way people are always looking back at prime Mike Tyson. If you look at the 2000s Mike Tyson, my man was getting battered by...
Prime Tyson didn't even last that long. Listen, I've got mad respect for Tyson.
Yeah.
He didn't last long, though, the prime.
Yeah.
He didn't last long.
But, it wasn't in the ring, it was outside the ring.
Yes.
Lack of Customato being in the corner, obviously he passed away.
Yes.
The prison issue, weed, drugs, alcohol, women.
The amount this guy's been through, it's fucking crazy.
Yeah. These things have a toll. I mean, my man's probably smoked up the whole of fucking
he's been in psychiatric
Amsterdam.
wards, been in psychiatric ward. He's done his life from being an orphan and everything is just crazy from start to finish.
He's had it very, very tough.
Massive respect. I'm glad that he's got this fight because it's a big money fight, so he can, he's just going to make him and his family
deserve
richer.
it. But if we look at it from a technical,
he's smashed box office and all that. He'll probably earn more money from this fight.
You're not wrong, You're probably not wrong.
Out of all of his famous fights,
I
think this one you'll get.
I think nowadays as well is an era in boxing where boxers have it.
Yeah.
It's not the promoters necessarily that are the ones that are taking the huge cut, like Don King.
Like because it's being associated with Netflix.
Yeah.
Netflix is just like, here you go.
Here's the money, like
here's the money.
Pipe the money down the foot.
I think you're probably mad to think his most successful fight will be against Jake Paul.
I know. Imagine that.
It's actually crazy to think, isn't it? So everyone wants to see this. A spar of stick and move. He drops Jake Paul so everyone can laugh, and then he gets his money and goes. I think that's an ideal scenario.
That's what everyone wants. Mike Tyson to absolutely annihilate Jake Paul. I mean, no one likes the guy, right? But in reality, let's say they are going full pelt. Yeah, they're going everything that they've got. I just don't see a way Mike Tyson is winning at all. No. Because if you look at 2000s era Mike Tyson,
he was getting...
Is he? Bro, he's older than my dad.
Is he like 50?
He's got to be late 50s, early 60s.
Yeah. It's not possible.
Mate,
and the thing is, he hasn't been training. Like, I can look at the gap in training. So if we look at like George Foreman and stuff, he was still training.
Yeah. Even when Mike Tyson recently fought Roy Jones in that exhibition, and you got to remember Jake Paul. Jake Paul, he's a troll. He doesn't care, bro.
He's actually a fighter.
My man would not care. He wouldn't lose a bit of sleep about knocking Mike Tyson out.
Yeah.
Not a bit of sleep.
No.
Mike,
he's actually a fighter.
He's a good boxer,
He's all right boxer.
If you can't compare him to real boxers, but where is that? If you put him in a white collar event or a low level pro card, he will wipe the floor.
How many fights? Yeah, about 10 or something like that.
Yeah, he's got to be on that.
So if you think about like a boxer of 10, 10, like really.
Well, we said it earlier on the longer version about how a lot of boxers nowadays fight the first 10, 15 and journeyman, journeyman. And that's all Jake's done, really.
Yeah, really.
That's all he's done the same.
You don't expect him going there with Canelo,
and
you know what I'm saying?
He's no amateur career. Started boxing like very later on.
Yeah.
Went straight into the big stage.
Yeah.
So he will have a lot of people.
If you put like top level amateur or lower level pro, like in a normal age against Mike Tyson, I think they all beat him.
Yeah, because age is a big thing, man. I mean, 2000s era Mike, he was losing against like people that he should be absolutely battering.
Danny Williams.
Really should have been battering. I really don't see a way Mike's going to win, and it's a shame because I want Mike to knock him out. But I think if they're going full pelt, I do see a way that Jake could drop him. I really do, because it's not Mike Tyson.
It's not, man.
It's Mike Tyson who's got grandkids, bro. It's Mike Tyson who's got kids. It's sad, but I will say it like it's true.
Isn't it? So hopefully he gets the bag, and then that's it.
On the undercard, is it Amanda Serrano versus Katie Taylor, I think, or something like that?
Yeah.
That's a huge fight.
That's a big fight.
I'm more interested to see that fight than the Jake Paul fight, to be honest, because that's a proper fight.
Yeah.
Amanda Serrano is just a warrior, man.
Yeah.
Like absolute beast.
Absolute beast. Any others on the undercard?
None that I can think of, you know.
That'd be an interesting
To be fair, like, they don't need it. They don't need it on the card, but
no,
Netflix could say, right, we're just doing Jake Paul, Mike Tyson and putting 50 different singers and dancing performance on. Like, they do it in Saudi Arabia now, innit? I mean, what was it, what was the recent fight? Better BF versus Bivol.
Yeah.
Halfway through, bro, they had a fucking concert, man. Like, no one cares.
No one cares.
No one cares,
It was too much, wasn't it?
No one cares.
It was way too much.
No one cares.
It should be one song, innit? It should be one song.
And was it the Dubois AJ fight? They started singing the Saudi national anthem.
Yeah,
in the UK crowd, there were boos. They had to turn the crowd off and only have the audio from the singer.
No way.
That's like, to me, that's out of touch.
Yes.
The British public are, when they're drunk and they want a good time, they have no morals, bro.
Exactly.
They want a good time. They want Sweet Caroline.
Yeah.
They want Wonderwall. They want the national anthem of the UK. That's it, and they want to fight.
Don't put no extra frills on it.
That stuff, like, it pisses the UK fans off.
Yeah.
Because these aren't, the people that come to the events aren't hardcore boxing fans. Those, a lot of time, are at home, watching on the computer.
Yeah.
The people that are going to the events are people that want to piss up. They want a nice night out.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
They don't care about that sort of stuff. They want fights. They want good fights.
Hooligans, shall I say.
It's true.
I mean, there's no other fights this year, is there?
None that comes to mind, you know. None that comes to mind.
I mean, there's UFC, and there is actually a big one. John Jones, Stipe.
Okay.
John Jones, Stipe. So this is like probably the greatest MMA guy of all time, John Jones, versus Stipe, who is renowned as the best heavyweight of all time.
Okay, you're teaching me now. I don't know nothing about UFC.
This guy don't know nothing. So UFC, as you know, I think this is 3010. Oh, sorry, 310. 310, I believe. Okay. UFC 310. And that is, I believe, it's in December, that is, I'm sure.
Okay.
Yeah, UFC, they're a bit more regular with the cards and boxing. It's a bit more regulated. They're all under one umbrella, so the guy could just be like, they just put cards on.
I do know that there's less politics.
Less politics.
It's more sort of,
just
you're good, fight.
Yeah, boom. There's one head, and they're like, okay, do you want this fight? And if you're like, no, okay, we'll give it someone else. That's all. That's how it is. No negotiation. Is what it is. So that'll be interesting. That fight. Like I said, that is like probably the last fight for the two guys. John Jones at end of an era, probably the best of all time. Stipe, he's old. You know what I'm saying? They just brought him back from retirement. So really, John Jones should just annihilate him.
It'd be a good finish.
So that will be good. That would be a good finish. And Tom Aspinall is from the UK.
I don't recognise that now. He's doing really good at the marketing side. Social media's there. Lots of collaborations with big,
young,
UK.
Strong,
Eddie Hall.
Heavyweight.
He seems like, obviously I don't watch UFC, but he seems like he understands the game.
Yeah.
Understands the market. Understands the fight game. He's got the skills. He's got the talent.
Yeah.
And he's bringing alongside the new era. The new era of social media.
John Jones is basically ducking him.
Is he?
Yeah, publicly as well.
Really?
Publicly, yeah.
Fucking hell.
Because John Jones is old. He's like 41, 41, and this is the new young cat.
41's old, you know.
Yeah,
That's old.
And they're like, after Stipe, you're going to fight Tom Aspinall. Because John Jones is the heavyweight champion.
Right, okay.
So they're like, he's talking about retirement. He's like, maybe one more against.
You got to respect that, though. You got to respect it.
He's
earned
old.
his career.
Yeah, he's old.
Why would he sacrifice his legacy fighting a younger
He's undefeated
fighter
as well. And it's
a shame for the other man, because it's like, that'd be a really good statement.
You know what I'm saying?
In the industry, it'd be a very good statement.
Yeah, but it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen.
It shouldn't, man. It shouldn't.
No, it's not
you don't go and be in the competitive industry for 20, 15 years. I don't know how long the guy's been in there. And then your last fight.
Last
fight, which is your retirement moneymaker. The one people are going to remember you of.
Everyone's going to remember you of.
And you're going to fight someone who's way younger, way more hungry.
The young
who's
version
got
of you.
years ahead.
The young version of you.
Yeah, you're not going to, man. I wouldn't.
And
no way.
The worst thing is, and it happens in boxing as well, the worst thing is their biggest payday, their most exposure, always comes when they're at the worst.
Yeah.
It's mad, but the game is how it is, isn't it? Yeah. So they jump in and just take the fight.
Yeah.
They're like, right, I've been earning all on the rise, I've been earning this much, because of natural inflation as well.
Yeah.
So natural inflation, more promotion, more people watch the sport. So suddenly they're earning 4 times as much as they was in their prime. They're like, why wouldn't I take it?
Yeah.
It's like 4 fights for one day.
It makes sense, though.
You know what I'm saying? It makes sense.
It's a shame, man.
Because at this point, they're older. They're just thinking, my kids are this, that. Well, how am I going to provide? I'm not going to be able to earn any more money after this.
Yeah.
So they just take it and get battered. So that should be interesting.
The thing I always think of is Amir Khan. I mean, people forget how good his career was.
Yeah, man.
But I
actually beat some creditable opponents,
Of course, the only thing that comes in my head when someone says Amir Khan is you remember that Canelo knockout?
Yeah.
Where my man's chin got locked.
What was the worst, Prescott or Canelo?
I think the Canelo one, you know.
It was tough.
Personally. Just because I'm a huge Canelo fan.
Yeah.
My style when I personally box is very similar. I think the way he set the shot up after rounds, the jab, right hook to the body, and then just
patience
picked it up.
That was
beautiful.
tough.
And I think that was what made Amir Khan's chin just gone. It was gone.
It literally was like spun his chin.
Bro, it was gone.
It was horrendous. It was horrendous.
Mate, it's funny though.
It was horrendous.
It's crazy,
because it was mid jab. No, mid hook, wasn't it?
Yeah. But that's when you're always exposed. People forget, like, that's the way if you watch a lot of boxers low level, they're reluctant to throw.
Yeah.
Because you know as soon as you throw, that's when you're the most vulnerable.
They're waiting.
Because
it's like, you know what? It's like facing a snake.
Yeah.
And the snake's prone.
Especially if you're fighting a counter puncher.
And you go, if I move, do you know what I'm saying? Like,
it's true though. It's very true. It's very true, man.
It's literally that, isn't it?
You're so reluctant to throw, but what people don't realise is by not throwing, you're doing the opposite.
Yeah.
You're letting them come forward.
Yeah.
So it's all a mind.
You're not messing up their rhythm.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
It's all a game of the mind.
And they just stay prone. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I think that wraps it up. I think that wraps up for today, isn't it?
Yeah,
Got some good topics there.
Yeah,
next week, we will be touching up on some more interesting. We're going to be talking boxing, bodybuilding, what's happening locally, and lots more with the academy, mentality, fitness, you name it. Any questions that you have, let us know in the comment section. Like and subscribe.
Go for it, man.
Over and out. Anything you want to say before we go?
Smile and make someone's day. That's what I'm going to say.
Man. Look at
Being
that.
a nice person.
He loves you. You know what I'm saying? Positivity all around.
You've got to be positive, man.
Listen, over and out. Much respect. We shall see you next week.
Take care, man. Take care.